In this lesson, we'll cover attaching columns to elements. So the columns we've drawn, we can actually attach those to something above them or below them using a top and bottom attachment. When you use this type of method to attach your columns to the elements above or below, you have a few things as far as style and justification that you can set. For example, if you're attaching a concrete column to a concrete floor, it's pretty straight as far as how those two will attach together. Basically, the column nor the floor will be cut. But if you're placing a steel column, for example, to a steel beam, you can actually have that column or beam cut on a 45-degree angle or a different angle depending upon how you want those to go together. So depending on the material type of the elements that you're connecting, you can have different options of how those go together. So again, there's a variety of different justifications you can set. So how do we go about attaching a column to a structure, for example, a floor? Well, looking at the model on our screen, we have several columns on level 1, and we have a concrete floor on level 2. So we want to actually attach the column to the floor. First thing I'll do is change this to a shaded mode. So that way I can actually see how the columns adhere or how they're currently drawn to that actual floor. Now the floor itself, although it's on level 2, is drawn down from level 2. So level 2 sits at the surface of the floor. The columns from level 1 extend from level 1 up to level 2, so you can see the column protrudes through the floor. So let's look at how we can attach these columns to the floor. So go ahead and select one of the columns. When you select the column or columns, on the right side of your ribbon you have two options: attach the top base or detach the top base. Well, let's click Attach. Revit will then ask you, what do you want to attach to? Now you could select a floor, a roof, a ceiling, a beam, even a reference plane or level. But before we select anything, let's look at the green options bar. So right now we're attaching a column to the top. You could also do base. You have an attachment style where you could cut the column or cut the target that you're protruding to, in other words, the floor. We're going to cut the column, or you could say do not cut. As far as justification goes, you have a couple settings: maximum intersection, minimum intersection, or intersect the column at the midline. And then you could also offset, providing an offset for the attachment if you wanted to. Well, let's just leave these set at top, cut column, and maximum intersection. Then simply select the floor, and the column will be cut below the floor plane. To end, simply click Modify. Now we could see the same thing again with another column. Select another column, click Attach Top Base, click the floor, and that column is now cut. And you can see that if you rotate the model, it doesn't protrude through the actual surface of the actual floor. I can also change the style back to wireframe, and I can see how the columns are shorter now than they were in the previous example. So as a review, we discussed attaching columns to elements. We can take a column and attach it to something above, on top, or something below. That could be a floor, it could be a beam, or it could be a level. To do that, select the column and then set your options on the options bar, and then simply select what you want to attach to.